Alright, so I just moved the tank to a spot where I could dump out everything. So here's the valve head. I just unscrewed everything already. So you take this off. Since we're gonna replace the resin, I'm not worried about the bottom. There's this screen here. There's a top screen and there's a bottom screen. So I'm not gonna be worried about the bottom screen because we're gonna take this out anyways. So I'm sliding it out. So there's a valve head. So let's take that off. And just see this comes out. There should be a bottom screen right here. So basically these two screens, the top and bottom, is there so that prevent the resin and also the in this case we have gravel inside from going into your water pipes, right? So it's there. So I'm gonna dump it right here in the basically in the dirt here. Again, the resin is it's actually biodegradable, so you don't have to worry about polluting. If you have, like I mentioned earlier, that chlorine dissolves the resin over time. So if you have it for too long in your city water, it's just gonna dissolve and it goes into your line anyway. So no big deal. There's some resin coming out. A little resin coming out. So there's still a little bit of amount left. So there you go. There's the resin there. All right. That's the resin. Again, it's all biodegradable. So so no big deal. Just it goes into your dirt over time, over X amount of years. This stuff will just break apart. So that's no big deal. So this one actually still has a pretty good amount. This thing is about 15 years old. So again, over time they just basically don't work anymore. So it's best to dump it out and get replenish it with new stuff. So this one actually, I'm surprised at how much resin is still left in here. I just changed another one just yesterday, and that thing had no resin left in it whatsoever. It was all gone. It all dissolved. But that one was over, I think it was probably about 20 years old already. Whereas this one is probably about 15 years old. So this one has actually a pretty good amount. It looks like it still has like more than half of it left in there. Basically, on a water softener, a system is either resin to be replaced. Is that basically it doesn't work anymore? You don't have the soft waterness. That, and you could tell by that slipperiness. When after you wash your hands with soap, afterwards you're like, oh, how come it's still slippery? It feels like there's still soap there, but the soap's washed off already, but it still feels slippery. That's when you know you have soft water. This thing hasn't had that for actually for a few years now. So the resin is no good anymore. Other thing with using the water softener properly is that you don't want it to lose its softening capacity. So basically, if you use the whole thing, basically if you discharge the whole thing and it doesn't have its capacity anymore, it's kind of like a battery where if you discharge a battery, over discharge a battery, basically it kills the life of the battery. It shortens the life. So the resin is the same way. So you always have to have a certain amount of charge to it. There's still quite a bit. I think most of it's still here. I'm very surprised. So dump more of the stuff out, and so it looks like most of it's still here. Seems like I don't know, maybe 80% or so of it's still here. See, pretty good amount. Let that stuff dump out. Also because it's wet, so when it's wet, it actually expands. So usually when you fill up new resin, you don't want to fill up so that way it's completely full, because when it gets wet, there's a certain amount of expanding and contrasting. You'll want to have some space left over in your tank. Let that resin expand. So this particular system here, I put this system in myself, 15 plus years ago. So this one's a bigger tank, 1.5 cubic foot, resin, capacity material. So usually when you get to 1.5 cubic foot, you need to have a little bit of a gravel underneath. If you have 1 cubic foot or less, you don't need to have gravel underneath. So I'm starting to see a little bit of gravel here and there. So let's go to the next video from here. Or actually, we'll get one more thing. We dump the rest of it. It's mostly empty now. We can dump the rest of it, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the bucket, and we're gonna dump the rest of it and into the bucket, and we're gonna save the gravel. So that gravel is gonna be reused. So let's do that. Another thing you want to do is you want to get a garden hose, and another thing you want to do is you want to get a garden hose and shoot into the opening here while it's tilting down, so that way you can rinse the rest of the gravel and the resin out. And I'm probably gonna do that in a bit. So let me stop the video here and make another one. Stay tuned.